So, students, to continue the lesson, I'm explaining the next paragraph. Usually, when school began, there was a great bustle. Bustle means noise, which could be heard out in the street. You can heard the noise of the school out of the street easily. The opening and closing of the desk, the student they make the noise, lesson repeated in unison. Unison means in one go. Together, all the student they repeat the lesson. With our hands over our ears that you have already seen in your childhood or the small kids, they put the hands on their ears and after that they spoke the lesson in unison. And the teacher's great ruler rapping on the table. Rapping on the table, they hit the ruler on the table so that they can maintain the discipline in the class. That day, everything. But now it was also still. It was somehow quiet on that day when he reached the school. I had counted on the commotion, means without any noise. He was having some sort of belief that without any noise and without being seen, I can get my seat easily. But of course, that day everything had to be as quiet as Sunday morning. Through the window, he saw his classmates. They were already at their places. Mr. M. Himmel, he was walking up and down, means here and there, with his terrible ruler. He was putting that ruler under his arm. I had to open. It was his compulsion to open the door and go before everybody. Means he entered the class before everybody. You can imagine how blushed, means how ashamed he was at that moment and how frightened he was. He was very much frightened because of his teacher. He was having his ruler in his arm. But nothing happened. Amhamel saw him and said very kindly, very politely, he has spoken. Go to your place quickly, little Franz. We were beginning without you. Means, as you were not present in the class, we were going to start the lesson without you. He jumped over the bench and sat down at his desk. Not till then. When he had got little over his fright, he saw Mr. M. Hamel. He was wearing his beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt, it is ornamental like that, and the little black silk cap, all embroidered, that he never wore except on inspection and prize days. He wore his dress on inspection days or prize days, distribution day. Besides, in spite of it, the whole school seemed so strange and so serious. Yes, Solomon is serious. But the thing that surprised me most was to see on back benches. He was very much surprised to see at the back benches those were the people who were sitting. Usually the seats were empty, but on that day the people, village people, they were sitting. And those were the people old Hauser with his three cornered head, the former mayor, he was also sitting, and several others besides. Everybody looked very sad. Old Hauser, he has brought his old primer book and he was putting that book on his knees with his spectacles. He was putting or he was turning the pages and he was reading that book with them. And Hauser had brought an old primer thumbed at edges and he held it open on his knees with his great spectacles lying across the pages. While I was wondering when he was surprisingly watching all around all these things, M. Himmel mounted on his chair. He sat down on his chair and, in a grave and gentle tone, he started to speak. What did he say? My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin. This is an important one. This is the main reason. My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. The new master comes tomorrow. Here, comes is used in this sentence. It is present tense, which will be affected, or it is already decided that new teacher comes tomorrow. As one of the examples I want to give you, the example is the school reopens on 4th July. It is like that the school authority has already decided to open the school on that day. So, this is that one. The new master comes tomorrow. This is your last French lesson. I want you to be very, very attentive. And all the students, you should be very attentive because it is your last French lesson which I shall give you. Now, with this next part, I will be available once again. Thank you. Have a nice day.